Today, I'm going to make scrambled eggs. I'm not a professional chef. They're not going to be the best eggs in the world, and you might make them differently. That's fine. This is an English video. So, in this video, I'm actually going to try to speak naturally. But before I do that, I just want to show you the ingredients, make sure we understand what they are, what utensils and things I'm going to be using, so that when I do speak naturally, it's easier for you to understand me. So, first we have this. This is a pan. This is the stove. The pan is on the stove. I have 3 eggs. I have 1 bowl. I have a spatula. I think this is a silicone spatula. I have a chef's knife. I have a butter knife, a fork, a green bell pepper, a red chili pepper, black pepper, salt, olive oil, butter, marmalade, and I have 2 pieces of bread and a toaster. I have the marmalade, the butter, and the toaster and the bread because I'm also going to make toast to eat with my eggs. So the first thing is I have my vegetables. Actually, peppers are not vegetables. Peppers are technically fruits. Oh, and I forgot, I'm going to speak naturally. So I'm going to start speaking naturally now, but you know what the things I have are. So first I have this green bell pepper. I'm not going to use the whole bell pepper. I'm just going to use a little bit of it. It's breakfast. I don't need too many vegetables. And I'm just going to, I guess, dice the bell pepper. Dice means to cut it into small squares. And like I started to say, peppers are not actually vegetables. Peppers are fruit. But they taste like vegetables. And I think most people think that they are vegetables. Also, if you like eggplant, eggplant is not a vegetable either. Technically, eggplant is a berry. That's really weird. Okay, so that's all the bell pepper that I'm going to use. In some places they call it capsicum, but in America and England we call it bell pepper. Or sweet pepper. Or just green pepper, red pepper. And this is a chili pepper. This one I'm going to slice it. Again, I'm not a chef. I don't have any training. Please don't judge me too much. I'm just doing some home cooking because I enjoy food. I enjoy cooking. Okay, so the green bell pepper is just to have a vegetable element, even though it's not a vegetable. And the red pepper, the chili pepper, is to make it spicy. So there's my peppers. The first thing that I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. That's a little bit more than I wanted to put in it, but that's okay. The pan's already hot. And when you make scrambled eggs, you don't have to put anything in them. I just like to put things in them to make them a little bit more interesting. If I make scrambled eggs before work, the only thing that I use is eggs. No oil, no butter, no anything, because with this pan I don't really need to use oil. And with no oil, no butter, it's pretty healthy. So yeah, you can do it with just eggs. If you want to make it creamier and a little bit more rich, a little bit smoother, you could also mix in cheese or milk or cream or creme fraiche or something if you want to. So I'm going to stir the peppers in my pan with the olive oil. I'm going to let these cook for a little bit just so that they're soft. I don't want to cook them too much. I like to have them a little bit crunchy or a little bit crunchy while they are still in the eggs. I don't want them to be too soft. Okay, so I have that. Then we have the eggs. So again, I have 3 eggs. I'm going to crack the eggs into the bowl. And you can notice that every maybe 15 seconds, I start speaking slower again. That's because usually when I have a camera in front of me, it's natural for me to speak slower. It's very difficult for me to speak naturally or at a faster speed while in front of a camera. I got a piece of eggshell in my eggs, so I'm going to use the other eggshell to get that piece out, because that is how you get eggshells out of your eggs. You have to use the eggshell. It's very difficult if you try to do it with your fingers. Okay, so I've cracked 3 eggs into the bowl. The next step is that I'm going to whisk the eggs. So this is a fork. I'm going to use the fork to whisk the eggs. Whisk, 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 whisk. And maybe I should say beat the eggs. I think technically they are both correct, beat or whisk. Okay, so now my eggs look like this. And my peppers are a little bit soft. Those are good now. They are ready for the eggs. However, there's a lot of oil in this pan. I don't want a lot of oil in my eggs, so I'm just going to use a paper towel to take out some of the extra oil. I just don't like the way that the oil makes the eggs feel. Okay, but this pan is too hot to put the eggs in. When you make scrambled eggs, you don't want to have a very hot pan. You want it to be just hot enough that it cooks them slowly. When you cook the eggs at a very high temperature, they cook too fast and they're not as soft. We want the scrambled eggs to be nice and soft. While I let this cool down for a moment, we can make the toast. So this machine is called a toaster. I'm going to put 2 pieces of wheat bread into the toaster. There's different settings on the toaster. You can make it very dark, or you can make it very light. For me, toast should always be dark. Sometimes in Thailand, you go to a hotel or a restaurant and they give you the toast and you can still do this. If you can do this, that means that you have not actually toasted it. Toast should be nice and crispy and dark, maybe burned. Some people like it almost black. For me, I don't like it black, but I like it dark and crispy. Okay, gonna put the eggs in the pan, even though it's a little bit too hot. That's all right. And they're called scrambled eggs because you do this. This is the action of scrambling. I'm scrambling the eggs. To scramble just means to gently push them around. You don't want to hit them, you don't want to stir them, you just want to push them around the pan. So I'm scrambling my eggs. And I'm going to put salt and pepper in my eggs, but I'm not going to do that until the end. These 2 are stuck together. I don't want them to be stuck together. Okay. Again, not a chef. Don't really know what I'm doing. Just know what I like to eat. Right here we have marmalade. So we have jam, jelly, preserves, and marmalade. So jelly. Jelly is when you take the juice from the fruit and you mix it with sugar, I think. So when you have jelly, there should not be pieces of fruit in it. But when you have jam, jam actually has pieces of fruit in it. You might have skin or seeds or the flesh of the fruit. Marmalade is just jam that's made from citrus. Citrus, lemon, limes, oranges. So you can't make orange jam because when you make a jam with orange, it's no longer jam, it's marmalade. Okay, so now we know jam, jelly, and marmalade. What is preserves? Preserves are basically when it's almost 100% fruit and sugar. And usually it's just pieces of fruit mixed with sugar and a little bit of syrup or water to keep it together. So if you want the most fruit, actual fruit, you should use jam or preserves. If you want just jelly, use jelly. Okay, so these eggs are done. So I'm going to put the eggs on my plate. So even if the eggs are not cooked yet, but they're almost cooked, that means that they will finish cooking while they are on the plate. If you cook the eggs all the way in the pan, that means that they will continue cooking on the plate and they will end up overcooked and cooked too much. They will not be nice and soft and fluffy like we want them to be. Okay, some black pepper and salt and the eggs. There we have the scrambled eggs. I might also like to put some cilantro or green onions in that, but I don't have that today. Okay, so my toast has popped up out of the toaster. You can hear it. It sounds like toast. That's good. So for the toast, we have marmalade and butter. Put the butter on first. If I can get my knife. Okay, butter knife. And again, you can hear the toast. Toast should always have this sound when you spread something on it. So I'm spreading the butter on the toast and you can hear the toast. A bit difficult. That's okay. Just a little bit of butter. Okay. And then marmalade. So again, this is marmalade, orange marmalade. It smells very nice. Put about a tablespoon on each piece. And spread it around. Spread it over the toast. Oh, my toast is broken. That's too bad. But that's okay. Okay. So there is my late breakfast for today. 2 pieces of whole wheat toast with butter and orange marmalade and scrambled eggs with bell peppers and chili peppers, which are both fruits, not vegetables.